Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, yours truly who loves hot sauces and anything that burns his mouth tried Coca-Cola spiced for the first time, and it is a resounding no from me, dog, as I couldn't taste any spices whatsoever. And so, feeling a little bit misled by the marketing department of Coca-Cola, I sit down to watch Mr. Yo playing as the Koreans in blue take on MbL, playing as the Vietnamese in red. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with goats and scouts of all kinds and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today? Now, the Koreans are a civilization classified as quote-unquote defensive, but you wouldn't know it from how players are using it, since some of their static defensive bonuses can be used effectively in rush strategies. Since all Korean tower upgrades are free of charge, and starting in Castle Age, their towers can be upgraded to have +2 extra range. Now, to help you build these structures, Korean stone miners do work 20% faster, and once they get out onto the map, they remain a little bit safer from raiding because they do come with +3 line of sight. Take a look at that line of sight on a villager. That is ridiculous. Now, if you want to engage in a more mobile kind of warfare, the Korean military does come with a few powerful features. To start with, all of their archers and infantry do cost 50% less wood. Their archers get free armor upgrades, and the minimum range of their mangonel line is lowered from 3 to 1, which is an absolute godsend to those who like to do attack rounds, maybe practice attack rounds, and even perfect their attack rounds. Now, those very same mangonel units can be upgraded to have +1 range, which means that Korean onagers can actually outrange certain towers and castles in the game. Now, if you're tired of playing defense and want to roam the map looking for kills, you can turn to the Korean unique unit, the War Wagon. This is a mounted archer with a very healthy amount of HP, high base pierce armor, and one of the strongest base attacks of any archer unit in the game. Remember, by the way, the War Wagon is still an archer unit, and so it does benefit from the free archer armor upgrades and the wood discount that I just mentioned. Now, speaking of archers, let's take a look at MbL civilization, the Vietnamese, a pretty damn archer-focused civilization, if I've ever seen one, with access to 2 cool units. The first of their unique unit, the Rattan Archer. This is the second fastest foot archer in the game, and one that comes with a pretty decent attack and a massive amount of pierce armor, making it very hard for enemy archers to kill. Think Huskarl level armors for a fully upgraded elite Rattan Archer. Now, the second is their other unique unit, the Imperial Skirmisher. This is a better armored version of the Elite Skirmisher, and one that comes with a higher attack bonus against foot archers and cav archers. Now, if that's not enough archer for you, all units that come out of a Vietnamese archery range come with 20% more HP. We always have to check when there's rhinos involved, who pulled them and what kind of damage they took. Yeah, 2 damaged villagers for red. I'm assuming we're going to see, yeah, 2 damaged villagers for blue. The rhinos, the elephant, always exacting their pound of flesh whenever they get caught underneath a town center. Now, for the Vietnamese, to support their range units on the field of battle, their elephants can actually be upgraded to get 100 extra HP, making them cap out at a massive 420 HP. And the Vietnamese get conscription for free, which basically means they hit the ground running fast once they hit Imperial, if we're lucky enough to see that this game. Now, to afford the cost of training their range units, their battle elephants, all economic upgrades and technologies cost 0 wood and are researched twice as fast as normal. And Vietnamese lumberjacks, these ladies and gentlemen, can be upgraded to generate a small trickle of gold while they also cut down trees. Now, unlike other civilizations who have features designed to protect their settlements, economies, units from raiding, the final feature of the Vietnamese does allow them to raid more efficiently. Let's take a look at the line of sight of the Vietnamese. Look at the mini-map at the bottom center of your screen. Do you notice anything? You'll notice the exact location of the opponent of the Vietnamese out in the ether, out in the darkness. This does allow the Vietnamese, if they so wish, to put a good amount of early game pressure, maybe lame some resources, steal a few sheep, maybe mess around with some ostriches, although in this case it's Mr. Yo who seems to be interested in messing around with the ostrich pull or push, depending on which direction you're looking at. This is, yeah, this is amazing play so far out of both players, although MbL here really showing us the ability to micro, not only fighting off his opponent, 18 HP, ooh, he would have lost that scout had the battle raged on, but also pushing that ostrich as it finally does die underneath the town center. Let's take a look at the settlements, as both players are literally seconds seconds away from hitting the next age off the back of 18 villagers apiece. Did they both skip bloom? No, they did not. 1, 2, 3 forests for our Vietnamese. He's got another to the south and another to the back. Primary gold, nice, and not really on the attack path, but not also very forward, as Mysterio discovers exactly where it is. Primary stone is very exposed to the front, as are the additional gold patches, and it looks like he's got a bit of oh, that is so annoying, a bit of stone to the back. Where do you even put a mining camp? Here, I guess. Maybe you can fit it on this ledge or up top. Since elevation doesn't really change the movement speed of units, it's more of an aesthetically annoying thing to look at as opposed to an actual in-game, you know, I'm going to lose the game because my stone miners are going to be slower. Speaking of stone miners who are not slower, let's take a look at the Korean base. Primary stone nice and secure in the back. Gold also to the north of his base, just like our Vietnamese. Also not on the attack path. Also 3 forests with a little bit of extra foliage in the back if he wants to take a nice stroll through the, what are we working with today? Dragon trees. Okay. Extra stone, extra gold in the forward position, and a little patch of gold here to the back. Again, annoyingly, aesthetically, it looks like one big patch of gold, but it is actually 4. So both of these bases not really hard to wall off. Our Vietnamese a little bit more difficult with this big open space, but Mysterio also has a big open space to the south of his base. So you know what, for a first time in a really, really long time, I would say that these bases are pretty much very, very similar. Primary gold similarly located, primary stone for one to the back, for one to the front, but the secondary stone, now that I think about it, actually, you know what? I retract my statement. This base, I'm looking at the primary stone actually, and the additional gold. It is very exposed for our Vietnamese, where at least our Korean has a little bit here to the back, and these ones are pretty close to the town center. In any event, we'll see who decides to put pressure on who and whose resources are going to get attacked and lamed. It looks like our Vietnamese, who has 5 scouts out on the map, will be the first to get the kill, as the hunts for more villagers, more military units, 2 spearmen, 2 archers are here to greet him, but they are moving out at probably the worst possible time as this scout number 5 heads into the base. I'm assuming they both saw each other. Yeah, he's chasing. Why are you chasing? Interesting that MbL decides to go back with this as opposed to put pressure on Mysterio, knowing that his, well, at least suspecting that his army is completely in the middle of nowhere, or perhaps that's exactly why he's heading back, so that he can catch them exactly like this. Loses a scout for a spearman. That just basically means the cover for these archers is gone. Not too sure why Mysterio is doing so much a walking when he should be doing more a shooting, but ultimately does lose those. Takes a little bit of HP off the scouts, so not the end of the world for MbL. Fantastic start for him so far. 4 kills to 1. But the fact that Mysterio threw his army out in the middle of nowhere does allow him the time, and MbL chased, I should point out, allowed him the time now to get his wall up. 3 villagers. We'll see if this is enough, if MbL even knows to go this way. He hasn't explored this part just yet. We'll see if he continues west or if he stops here. Another band of units moving forward from Mysterio. And look at this. He's laming the berries. My favorite lemon bushes with the pretty blue butterflies is being attacked here. With 1 skirmisher, Mysterio is keeping this house alive. This 1 villager repairing it, taking no damage. Why is he not running away? Interesting. Okay. Now Mysterio reaches the other side of the map. We'll find a random errant skirmisher. And unlike the archer, these guys come with a minimum range, so it is no surprise that he is not turning around to fire, because he just cannot. Another skirmisher takes a little bit more damage, but now the base is open. Uh-oh. Not too sure what the point of that house was, but here we go. And a villager kill, the first one of the game, going to Mysterio. Looks like a bunch of kills on the other side of the map as well, but let's see how well he does with these archers. 3 versus 1. We'll see if he loses. He might lose an archer here. Oh, he does lose an archer. In exchange for a skirmisher is not great. 0 kills on you. 0 kills on that spearman. MbL. He's got a bone to pick with his house. And now there's 2 villagers repairing it. And his skirmishers are engaged in a skirmisher versus skirmisher battle. Will he notice the spearman? Poke poke, poke. Down he goes. So he did notice, but not before taking a little bit of a pokage here and there. Look at MbL's base. And this looks like a wine bottle cork to me, or a champagne or sparkling wine bottle cork that kind of flares out at the bottom, like those cool jeans from the 70s. What are they called? Flare bottom flare, something like that. I don't know. The ones that look like big pyramids when people wear them. MbL really wants to take down this house. Behind this, he's not really building any more military. Neither is our Korean, who is just training one more skirmisher, and that's it. But I guess Mysterio figures he can hold this. He's getting a market up as well. He needs just 300 more food. MbL. Now he's training even more skirmishers. So one player is starting to mass the resources needed for Castle Age. The other is kind of doing the same, but not really, as he streams more units. Now, Skirmisher is not exactly the most food-intensive unit, but they still do cost a bit of food. Mysterio's also gathering a good amount of stone. Okay. He's kind of confined to his base, so not really going for a tower rush anytime soon. Although might want to defend this area with a tower. One tower here will probably be enough to shoot away the entire army from MbL and allow him to finally finish mining these 61 lemons that are on their tree. More units moving forward. He bought food for gold, so Mysterio is going up to Castle Age. He's ahead one villager. MbL can buy the last 100 food he needs. He's got 370 gold. We'll see if he does so, if he just waits to gather it. I'm really I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Interested, maybe, to figure out why MbL is so dogged about destroying this house. You've literally got palisades across so much of Mysterio's base, and you're attacking the structure that has 750 HP. Mysterio places a stable, deletes his own palisade so that his scouts can have a avenue to get the hell out of there. Although, wait a second, is this all of a sudden open? Oh, betrayed by the visuals of the hills in Age of Empires. This is not the first time we've seen this happen. It probably will not be the last. And now MbL is here. He's only 20, actually no, wait. He's about 40 seconds behind his opponent when it comes to going up to Castle Age. And now the leak has been plugged. Surprised MbL let those villagers get so close. The skirmishers here not exactly focusing on the villagers. Now they are, but it's a little bit too little, a little bit too late, as now they're trying to bust into a structure that has 15, now 1800 HP. Mysterio garrisons the scouts. They turn around, they run away. They're going to have husbandry in a second. And there's the stone. Well, there's why he got the stone. So we're going to get to see war wagons. Okay. That's going to be an interesting, potentially deadly army composition out of our Korean. War wagons are quite tanky. As I mentioned, I think the base model comes with 150 HP, which is just ridiculous, and either 2 or 3 pierce armor. But I'm getting way too ahead of myself, where the castle's not even up. We've got a second town center for our Korean, 3 town centers going for MbL. He must have seen the castle going up, right? He saw the castle. He assumes it's a defensive castle, which so far it is. Mysterio going monks there. No, never mind. There's the war wagon. Somebody on Reddit really had a bee in his bonnet because the war wagon is called a wagon and the mule cart is called a cart, whereas a cart has 2 wheels and a wagon has 4, and the war wagon, which should have 4 wheels, has 2, and the mule cart, which has 4 wheels, should have 2. Did that make any sense? I don't know. People on Reddit are really weird, but it's still better than Twitter. I made the mistake of opening Twitter a few nights ago, and man, oh man, did I go to sleep depressed. Yeah, more war wagons. Yeah, it is a base armor of 3, and remember, they get the armor upgrades for free, the Koreans, which means this war wagon is popping out with 5 pierce armor, 2 melee, and our Vietnamese needs to react, because it doesn't look like Mysterio's stopping, or maybe he is. He's at, of course, right as I say that, he stops training them. He's got 4. Now, for all of the beautiful aesthetics of this unit, the giant ballista bolt that it fires, this is still a glorified cavalry archer. Uh-oh. Good body block there by MbL, saving his monk. Now, MbL needs to realize that he's going to have an issue dealing with these 4 units. He's going to need a lot of melee. I don't even think skirmishers are going to be enough, right? Even with the 2 bonuses, archer +3, cav archer. Oh no, cav archer +0. Why did I think that was a +2? So they do 3 damage to a unit that is 150 HP. Now, spearmen are definitely going to help out, but I think MbL needs to go monks. And Mr. Yo agrees with me because he's researching devotion and he's going up to 6 war wagons. Bolts fired, units dead. No more monks for our Vietnamese, who, I mean, he's ahead about 10% in economy, but that's not going to matter much when 750 HP of horsepower barrels down his base. Now, MbL needs to pick a route. Are you going monks or are you going knights? Are you going to do a little combination of both? I think you need to pick one or the other in this case, because your opponent, oh man, I love the location. Tell me this is not the most king of the hill castle we've seen. There's a little bit of high ground here for Trebs, but this is a pretty damn king of the hill castle for Mr. Yo, and it's going to get discovered. Not yet. The villagers haven't made their way. Now they will. So he gets discovered. No, he's going to body block the construction site. Oh, he starts constructing. That is very sour there for Mr. Yo. Has his own monk out. We'll try to convert some of these light cavalry units. But only 2 love taps needed. These are not Aztec monks. And he retreats. So MbL going the route of melee monk. Enough to zone out the war wagons. Their range is only 6, which means the monk outranges them by 3. Mr. Yo cancels his castle. Didn't really get very far, so probably got back, what, over 90% of his gold. Rebuilds it here. Okay. I mean, the war wagon isn't exactly the fastest unit in the game. 1 monk down. But it's still more mobile than a lot of archer units. Even the rattan. I mean, I'm saying the rattan. MbL needs a lot more villagers on stone before he can even think about putting up a castle. His base, he's ahead 12 villagers. He's ahead in army count, but look at that army count. 2 of it is basic skirmishers. 1 of it is a random feudal age spearman who's here in the back. The rest are light cavalry. His monks are getting absolutely destroyed. He is just not able to get any of the conversions that he needs. And now, oh no. 700 HP has become almost 2000 HP. Another monk pops out. Another monk. Takes a bolt to the back, but gets into the town center to heal up. Okay, light cavalry. Now MbL needs to use his economic advantage. He's an archer range. He's going elite skirmishers. I think MbL is trying to do a little too much. You've got 31 villagers on food. Keep pumping out the light cavalry. Get the attack upgrade. The war wagon doesn't have very good base melee armor, rather. And so the light cav, you'll lose. You're not going to take him down 1-to-1 ratio, but it's still going to be better than a skirmisher. I don't like the skirmisher play at all. I think it now is a +2. Yeah, cav archer +2, archer +4. So they do 6 damage to a unit that has 150 HP. Which is... I don't know. I don't know about this. I'm getting scared for MbL. He's got a band of war wagons prowling the northern perimeter of his base. Luckily for him, he only has 2 villagers here, Jack and Lumber. I mean, I say I'm worried for MbL. He's pushed back this tide of war wagons. An outpost for our Korean will allow him to see basically anything and everything moving his way. Now, mangonels is a good idea for our Vietnamese. Unfortunately, it's our Korean who's getting them. And now our Korean has the villager lead because MbL has switched his economy to focus primarily on military. 7 skirmishers, 2 scouts are being trained at once. He's got to deal with this, and he's going to straight ahead. No, he gets boxed out. Oh, what an incredible lightning quick reaction out of Mr. Yo. Did he see the monk to the south? No. Mr. Yo, by the way, has 1 relic. I'm assuming this monk below us is going to pick up that relic. Oh, MbL is just taking way too much damage in small clumps of units. Yeah, of course he is. Mysterio always loves taking relics. 5 kills for these 3. What are they? All villagers. And now MbL's wood lines are starting to get attacked. He's got one in the south that's safe. This one isn't really safe at all if these war wagons wanted to move in a little bit. But all of a sudden his wood income is in jeopardy. Oh, it's so annoying how they stack on one another. Okay, town center will take about 5,000 years to clear those guys up. Where are you guys going? Why are you on move command? Why are you on move command? Let's see how much damage they do. So actually, I don't really mind this army combination at this point from our Vietnamese. Maybe I was a little bit too negative about the skirmishers. Although I gotta say I'm still negative about them. 1,500 HP here. And where are they going? MbL's got 700 gold. Is he going to try to rush up to Imperial? Now, Imperial is probably his best bet. You can get out Rattan archers, get them upgraded. You get conscription for free, which means you're going to start Imperial literally light years ahead of your opponent. Mr. Yo draws these light cavalry units into a trap. Now, it sucks that the Vietnamese don't get hussars, but you can upgrade your light cav even more. The problem is the mangonels and more and more. Oh my god, he's going up to 30 war wagons. And here we go. Let's see how the skirmishers do. I'm going to click the HP of the war wagons just because, again, I don't think the skirmisher does that much damage. Not that the light cav that attacks on an 8 -2. So they do even less damage at 6. Onager moves in. Second Onager also doesn't get, so good pickoffs there by MbL to lame the mangonel count of his opponent. And he is still training 7 skirmishers at once. How many archery ranges? Only 2 archery ranges. This third one hasn't even been built. It's at 85%. There's no point in even canceling it. Oh, and now his skirmisher count's getting depleted. Mysterio's ahead 3 times the army count, and now he's ahead 22 villagers. A 30% bigger economy. And wow. Do you guys agree with me? Should MbL have just doubled down on a single unit? I mean, Mr. Yo did his typical meme build where he doubled down on 18 freaking war wagons with 2,700 HP. Should MbL have doubled down on just endless waves of light cavalry? All the wood he spent on skirmishers could have built more stables. How many stables did he ultimately have? Only 2. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. 2 archery ranges, 2 stables, not even a siege workshop. MbL was just spreading his military infrastructure a little bit too thin. I think maybe he would have done better to choose one type, upgrade it to the 9s, and then just hit the ground running. I mean, he's missing iron casting for the scouts. He's missing the 2nd armor upgrade for the skirmisher. Because again, at the end of the day, this war wagon is just a glorified cav archer. It still does attack on an 11, which against the 6 armor, potentially could have done 5 damage to yeah. Either pick a lane. Either skirmishers, which come with 20% more HP. So that extra, 7 HP, it means 1 more volley needed from the war wagon, or just go light cav. And MbL tried to do a little bit of both. His upgrades show a little bit of a confusing jumble here. And that is, look at the kill count, 132 to 57, 42 villagers to 4. Maybe it didn't even really matter what army composition MbL had, because he lost 42 villagers. Now, had he not lost those 42 villagers, he would be ahead serious economically. But I really do wonder. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? One of 2 things, unless there's a third option I'm ignoring here. Maybe in the heat of the moment of watching this game, I'm ignoring a third option. But either pick a lane, this, or rush up to Imperial. Look at his gold count. Look at his food count. It seems like that's what he was trying to do for a little bit. He was not counterattacking. He was holding Mr. Yo at bay for a little bit with all the infrastructure that was here. But ultimately, he loses his primary stone. Has he even seen the secondary? He has seen it. But these war wagons, this is why it's so important to know where your opponent's resources are. These war wagons are here, which means there's no stone miners here. And these war wagons are here, which means there's no stone miners here, which means there is 0 risk of the Huskarl with a bow and arrow, the Rattan Archer coming out. Because the Rattan Archer could take a more even fight. Now, its HP is not as good as the War Wagon, but its armor, its Pierce armor is much better. And so I feel like MbL was trying to go up to Imperial, but ultimately just, yeah, his Lumberjacks were lame here and here. His stone count is basically 0. He can't even sell. I guess he could sell 100 stone and use that gold to buy food. Does he even have actually the structures to go up to Imperial? No, he does not. I don't see a do you guys see a single Castle Age structure on this map right now? I do not. Mr. Yo just making all the right moves, smothering his opponent from multiple angles, laming the resource collection to the point where MbL can't even get up a castle. Now he's got the wood, I guess. Build a he did have a monastery to train those monks, and then I guess he needs one more, maybe a university, to get your own ballistics to match Mr. Yo's ballistics. But either pick a lane, skirmishers, light cav, knights even, or just rush up to Imperial. I feel for a long time he tried to do everything at once, and it really did hurt him at the end. And Mr. Yo just absolutely steamrolls with his chariot unit, 43 war wagons, 44 skirmishers. This is not even a close to an even fight. PKPM Mr. usually right at the beginning for MbL, not too long ago, about a minute ago. Interesting. So he was, I guess that's when he was building this tower here to the northeast of his base. The economies, okay, so not about 15% bigger economy, even though he got 41 villager kills. So Mr. Yo is ahead, except in food. So where were all the light cavalry units? I'm surprised the most trained unit was a skirmisher. And actually, let's look at relic gold. Of course, Mr. Yo has 3. Of course, he has 3 relics. 0 conversions, those playing no role, and 5 buildings destroyed by our Korean. Yeah, again, I put it to you, because you guys know this game just as well, if not better than I do. Should MbL have doubled down? Should he have gotten out 30 skirmishers? Should he have gotten out 20 light cav? And should he have upgraded one or the other to the 9s? Because right now, both of them are at 75% upgrade. Or should he have just walled himself in, tried to put a bunch of towers here, and taken the stone and tried to get up his own Rattan Archer? Because that is a battle that I really don't know who wins. The War Wagon with the extra HP or the Rattan Archer with the extra armor? I suspect, of course, the War Wagon, just because anything with that amount of HP versus a basic foot archer is going to win. But it might be a little bit closer than the skirmishers, who right now only have 5 pierce armor. But ultimately, doesn't really matter what could have been, what should have been. This is not Disney Marvel's What If. This is a game of Age of Empires that MbL just got smothered. Just all over the place. 10 kills, 7 of them villagers, 3 of them those light cavalry. It looks like he did manage to get one of the war wagons, or maybe 2, because I think there were 5 in total. So he did kill 2 of the 5. But ultimately nothing to deal with this big blob to the front, which is going to push in. And by the way, his infrastructure, 2 stables are here, 2 archery ranges are here. So once this military industrial zone gets occupied by the Koreans, it is game over for MbL. And I think he realizes that. He knows that there's this aggressive siege workshop that is pumping out. I don't know exactly what he was attacking here. Maybe the archery range that was here before. But it doesn't really matter. Mr. Yo just steamrolling with this beast of a unit, this 150 HP unit, and MbL maybe caught a little unawares, couldn't figure out the right counter to this unit. And unfortunately, even though he did lose 42 villagers, his economy wasn't that much worse than Mr. Yo's, which is just a testament to his economic macro. That's the word I'm looking for. I always forget the word macro. I don't know why. I like the word just management. I don't know why people had to throw in micro and macro. Micro is when you fight battles, and then economic management is everything else. But old man rant is over. MbL just could not fight back. Everywhere he went, doesn't matter where in his base, he is exposed, and he's got basic palisades, and now his zone of production is under occupation. And Mr. Yo with this chunky unit just steamrolls his opponent, even though, again, look, the gold. I really do think MbL was rushing up to Imperial. Just couldn't hold long enough to do it. It is Mr. Yo who is victorious with the War Wagon. Possibly should be called the War Cart, but doesn't really matter. I'm not a developer of this game. The War Wagon wins the game, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.